everyone, RogueGold here, and today, as the year is winding down, I wanted to take this opportunity to look a little bit into the future and kind of recap and elaborate on the information we have thus far regarding Division 2's Year 4 roadmap, and why I'm so excited for the time at which we will finally get this next big update and the content release schedule that will resume at that point, because unlike Year 2, in some ways, it seems as though Yannick and the team at Massive have a real plan for creating a sense of longevity and year-long engagement with this new content and the new endgame approach, whereas Year 2 Seasons 1 through 4 and their accompanying updates were very front-loaded with interest, excitement, and player retention, and anyone other than the most of hardcore players seemed to drop off pretty fast, waiting until the next new thing to come back onto the game. And so personally, I'm very excited that we seem to be heading in this direction, and I think and hope that a lot of you will be too once I break this down. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm sure plenty of people are going to clown on me for using that title and thumbnail quip because everyone is down on the Division 2 right now following the recent delay of our big Year 4 commencement update, which we thought was coming in February. It has now been delayed to an undisclosed date later in 2021. I don't foresee this being a terribly long delay. I did a video on that recently. I still think probably like the first half of the year, likely around May. But regardless, this sucks, no doubt. But part of what makes it sting a lot less for me, and what I really wanted to kind of delve into and break down in this video, is that while it does suck to wait, the result we're going to see once the content arrives is something I think will be entirely worth it. Primarily speaking, in terms of, the game is finally going to offer us actual new long-term things to pursue and engage with, whereas we haven't really gotten anything like that ever since Warlords dropped. And, perhaps you could say the Iron Horse Raid fits into that category as well. Now, I was going to wait and do this video until after we had gotten the seasonal changes intelligence annex article that had been scheduled for December, but obviously that was postponed along with the new content's delay. And while I obviously cannot confirm this because we don't have the information in our hands, I assume that the seasonal changes we're going to see them add in are going to increase the depth and desire to engage with seasonal content. Whether that be them adding in a wider array of difficulties for the leagues, like reintroducing heroic time trials, making the seasonal reward track more meaningful and engaging in the sense that it requires a bit more input than just the, maxed out on day one mentality, making those already plentiful rewards a bit more exciting, or perhaps having the season provide us with some actual new content every few months, whether it be an actual new main mission at the end of each new manhunt, or a new open world activity, or whatever. Considering Massive was prepared and will eventually be dedicating an entire intelligence annex article to the seasonal changes they're bringing, considering the scale and impact of the spec rework one and the expertise system, and how those will affect the game, I think it's fair to conclude that these changes will bring nothing but an increased interest and desire for the player to stick around and engage with seasonal content. And so that's kind of the basis from where I want to launch this discussion. Again, would have been nice for me to do so with the actual information from the article, but we'll make do with what we've got. And so in general, I just want to share my excitement and understanding with you all that come this next big update and come the commencement of Year 4, the Division 2 is once again going to offer us an actual reason and incentive to want to play consistently and for the long term, which is something that we've largely been lacking ever since Warlords dropped, as I was saying earlier. So the seasonal changes are a good starting point, but let's talk and recap some of the other information that we have that backs up that notion. One of those big ones, the expertise system. This was divulged to us back in November's Intelligence Annex article, and at its most basic, it is a keener watch system for your gear and guns rather than your character. Through gameplay, resource investment, and more, you're going to be able to level up and eventually upgrade the power level of your armor, weapons, skills, spec weapons, basically everything that comprises a build. And as you continue to do that with every item in the game, that will increase your agent's overall expertise level, allowing for further upgrades on all of that gear, and the cycle continues. So on its own, that system is already going to offer a lot of playtime to fully interact with and upgrade, all of those things. Very similar to how a lot of gameplay hours were offered to us in order to get Keener's Watch to level 1000 for the maximum power benefit. An accomplishment, I might add, that a lot of people have still yet to complete. Even some who play, semi-regularly. So the addition of the expertise system is only going to increase the amount of long-term incentive that the game provides, giving people more of a reason to stick around and keep playing. I see that as nothing but a good thing. Others may disagree, but there you have it. So that on its own is contributing to the revival of this incentive within the game, but that's not all. The expertise article also let us know that unlike the Keener Watch system we got with Warlords, the expertise system will continually evolve over time. And by that I mean, starting with this first big update, each new season and batch of weapons, gear sets, exotics, etc. that we receive will increase the total possible expertise level that your agent can reach, which in turn increases the amount of upgrades that you can apply to then every other item under the expertise umbrella in the game. So not only is this new system bringing a lot of investment and replayability at face value, but it will continue to expand and offer new reasons to engage with it over time as the content is continued to be released. And I find that to be a really cool and really exciting prospect to think about as someone who's had nothing new to chase and nothing to go for, basically, for a year now. And if there's any doubt as to how often new content may come after this next big update, may I remind you that the devs have stated multiple times that, while we've had a huge delay in new content since TU12, that was because the team was disbanded and a new workforce had to be put back together for Division 2 after Ubisoft realized that they were being stupid by shutting it down. And quoting their past few statements, they've said that there will be subsequent title updates in 2022 after this first, next big one, and they look to restart a more regular content schedule on the Division 2 moving forward, etc., etc. And so similarly to how Seasons 1 through 4 followed Warlords' release on a pretty timely schedule, I think that at a minimum, we will see Seasons 8 through 11 follow this next update's release for roughly a year, one every 3 months. And then more than likely there will be stuff after that as well. But we can expect at the very least a year of this expertise system continually increasing in its total value and offerings, and I find that to be exciting. In addition to those reasons I've now laid out, we also have the specialization revamp, and while I don't see this as being as contributing of a factor as the seasonal content changes or the expertise system will end up being, let's not forget that the beating heart of Division 1 and 2 is build making. Plenty of my fellow creators continue to get record views on new builds they create, a year after there's been any new shakeups in the gear roster as far as new stuff being added or balancing changes being done, and it's clear from my own experience and that data that build making is something that allures Division players regardless of whether there's new content or not. I know personally I'll be theory crafting even when I'm not home, and if I come up with an idea that excites me, it'll make me want to jump on later that night and try a new build out. And so disregarding the fact that we are going to have new stuff to do in year 4, with the expertise system, seasonal content, the new game mode, and all of that, having the specialization revamp on top of these things with the introduction of skill trees is only going to deepen the build-making experience within the Division 2, which in turn will expand the possibilities and increase the amount of interest people have in engaging with that core system, whether there's new content being added to the game or not. And so while those are just about all of the known items on my list that are going to exponentially increase and revive the long-term interest and incentive to play and grind the Division 2 upon this new content's arrival, that doesn't mean things will stop there. We are yet to see what kind of replayability this new game mode will offer us, and after that point, there's no telling what kind of additional content will come in the future title updates to the game that have been confirmed to us. And so if you take nothing else away from this video, just know that the Division 2 is going to offer you that true looter-shooter experience once again in 2022, and while the wait for that point absolutely sucks, I think all of us would rather give the devs the time to prepare for that continual stream of new content, rather than seeing them rush something out and then be caught empty-handed once again. So as we enter into the new year, just know, everyone, I'm hyped for the future of this game and the number of new things to pursue we're going to be getting, and I hope this video may have helped you become a little bit more excited as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on this plethora of new incentive the Division 2 is going to offer us. Do you see yourself maining the Division 2 again, knowing that the expertise system is going to offer tons of investment and power opportunity? Do you think the specialization skill trees will notably deepen the build-making experience? Are you excited to eventually hear about the seasonal content changes, and what surprises do you think await us in year 4? There's so much to discuss. I really can't wait for when we'll be able to do so with some more concrete information, but until then, my friends, just know the year of the Division is nearly upon us. That's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.